In today's video, I'll be teaching you about the role played by Marine Corps EA-6Bs in Operation Desert Storm, where the decision to send a strike package out into Iraqi-occupied Kuwait was determined by the availability of this jet. Okay guys, if you want to learn more about the Marines in the Gulf, then you must subscribe to me. It helps me a lot and you will gain a lot of knowledge. VMAQ-2 have been operating the EA-6B since 1977 and would be taking the best carrier-borne electronic warfare jamming aircraft at the time into the Gulf as part of Operation Desert Storm. VMAQ-2 was then based at MCAS Cherry Point and would deploy 12 of its EA-6Bs to Sheikh Issa Air Base in Bahrain. 12 EA-6Bs to cover the entire 3rd Marine Air Wing. The EA-6Bs would be stored outside in the open desert, in flight lines. This contrasted heavily to the Air Force's seed aircraft. The F-4G Wild Weasels had their own little Vietnam War-style revetments as the Air Force arrived at Sheikh Issa I. Now let's talk Marine strike packages, which created a team of aircraft heading into Iraqi-occupied Kuwait to strike targets and to eventually help their Marine brothers on the ground in their advance north into Kuwait City. In the Gulf, these packages would consist of 4 main aircraft types. Number 1, the Observer, an OV-10 to spot any counter-battery. Number 2, a pair of A6Es or AV-8 with an F-18D fast FAC. Number 3, a seed package of an F-18D and a pair of Legacy Hornets. And number 4, a Prowler, escorted by a Hornet doing a HVU cap. The Prowler was crucial to these strike packages as they often protected all the aircraft from radar-guided Iraqi threats. Every tactic the Marines had in counteracting radar threats involved a Prowler for jamming as well as harm support. Now you may be asking, Iris, why aren't you talking about the EA-6B's harm capability? Well, though the EA-6Bs would usually carry 1 harm in each mission, they were too valuable of an asset to be doing full-on seed missions, like the Air Force's F-4Gs. So carrying the harms in the typical Marine strike packages was given to a pair of F-18As or Cs. They would be the main aircraft carrying the harms, whilst the EA-6Bs provided a more standoff, ELINT-focused role. Though on the 13th of February, VMAQ-2 launched their first harm in combat. So far, we have learned that throughout the conflict and for every strike package mission, there would be a Prowler providing jamming support. However, let's hear from the guys actually in the combat zone. Let's hear from now Colonel Richard Bates' summary of VMAQ-2's time in the Gulf so far in the conflict, filmed at around 21st of February 1991.
We're required to support all of the 3rd Marine Air Wing. So since Operation Desert Storm started, we have flown non-stop. I guess it's been 35 or 36 days now without a break, and I expect it's going to go on for many more days. We probably doubled our normal flight time in a month, so we've had to restructure their work and flying routines. Beyond that, it's just been a little extra throttle for us. I think we've been able to maintain the base without a great deal of trouble.
So there you have it, some very high-tempo sortie succession from the air crews. So now let's answer the question on how the EA-6B actually does its role. It's easy to just say it jams the enemy radars, but with what and how? Meet the AN/ALQ-99. This system is capable of a bunch of stuff involving radar waves. More specifically, it can intercept, automatically process and jam received radio frequency signals. For receiving information, there is this pod on the tail, which can identify the type and direction of radar signals incoming, a bit like the F-4G. The aircraft's offensive output in terms of jamming capability comes in the pods. VMAQ-2's Prowlers in the Gulf usually carry 3 to 4 pods with 1 fuel tank and sometimes a harm. For every mission, Prowler guys would take off from Sheikh Issa, hitting up KC-130 tankers and heading out with the strike package to Kuwait. They would fly well above the strike aircraft, and once the mission was over, they would then return to the tanker and go for another round back to Kuwait or go to land back at Sheikh Issa. If you somewhat in the slightest enjoyed the video, please subscribe to let me know. And if you like the Marines in Desert Storm, you should watch either one of these 2 videos here. Thanks for watching.